Hey, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini, and I'm back with another video in my Samosa Quilt Along video series. Now in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to make some mirror image quilt blocks to add a little more visual interest and play more with the geometric angles that the 10-inch slicer ruler gives you. Alright, so I've shown you how to cut the block to get the little samosa block to look like this. Now recall that we were talking about cutting our squares with the pretty side of the fabric facing up. If you cut every single square, whether they're stacked or individually, but all the pretty sides of your squares are face up, you're going to end up with blocks where the little samosa is going in the same exact direction. So I want to show you something else you can do with the 10-inch slicer. If you take your quilt blocks, or I should say your 10-inch square pieces of fabric, and you cut some of them face up and some of them face down. This is the pretty side, so that's face down. And you can cut them individually or stacked up again. What you're going to get with the asymmetrical angle that the 10-inch slicer gives you is actual mirror images of these cuts. So I'll show you visually how that works. So I have one square pretty side face up and the other one pretty side face down. And I'm just going to cut two at a time because that's thin enough for me to do. Then you orient the 10-inch slicer so that the narrow edge, not this guy, the narrow edge is closest to you. So I'm going to line it up flush down here on the side and also at the top, and I'll just follow the asymmetrical angle of the template and slice through both of my fabric squares. Then we'll take the ruler and we're just going to turn it. Again, the short end should still be kind of towards your body in this bottom corner, and I'm going to line up this 3-inch solid line on this edge of this piece. So I want to line it up so that this edge is right on the corner and it's splitting this 90-degree angle on a diagonal. And you'll see that it lines up super easily. My solid line is running all the way there on the 3-inch mark. This side is coming off at the corner. So I'm going to just follow this edge here. Whoops. Moved a little on me there. And just cut only through these two pieces. Now we have our cuts for the samosa block, but because this top square was pretty side face down and these are asymmetrical angles, the angles now mirror image, so it's going to give you something different. So what happens is your bottom piece that was cut face up cannot be swapped out with this guy, because remember this one was on top pretty side face down. If I flip it to the pretty side face up, you see that it does not fit in that section. So if you are going to play with this option, make sure that you cut the same amount face up, same amount face down, so you can play the swapping game with the ones that correspond to the other blocks. All right, so for this one I would need one of the ones, this little samosa piece that was cut from another square that I cut face up. So it would have to be one of these guys, because it fits there in the same angle orientation, pretty side face up. So I would sew this block together. Now I'll show you what to do with the other piece. So on the other block that was cut face down, you get something different. This is how these two will come together, but the ones that were cut face up, again, don't fit. So we need to insert one that was cut the same way as this one was cut, face down. So let me cut one like that and show you how it goes in here. Now that this one was cut wrong side up, let's flip these over. And so now the samosa piece of the other one we previously cut face down will fit in here. So you end up with two different blocks because the little angled triangular piece at the bottom is going in a different direction. So see, this is one that the pieces were all cut face up. This is one where the pieces were all cut face down. So you can see that the longer edge of the angle here is to the left, the longer edge angle here is to the right. So you can play around and get some really cool and funky dimensional blocks and overall design for your quilt by playing around with the way that you orient your 10-inch slicer and cut your squares. So here I have two other ones that I made. If you're into low volume quilts and you like a lot of the plain background kind of fabrics that play as solids, a great way to make these would be to make it so that the little samosa piece are these pops of color. And you can see these are two mirrored blocks. because I cut some face up, some face down, and then put them together. So imagine a design like this that carries over, all right, by mirror imaging the different cuts and angles. I think that would look great for a quilt. So that, again, is another option and another way to use the 10-inch slicer to make the Samosa quilt block. Some cut face up and some cut face down. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and learned how to make some mirror image Samosa quilt blocks using my 10-inch slicer ruler. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your quilty friends, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.